Greetings, my friends. Thank you so much for stopping by Galadon Gaming. I am Galadon, but you probably already knew that. Anyway, this is Clash Royale, the Hog Mini Freeze deck. I don't have a super clever name for this deck yet, but there it is. Pretty much stole it off of somebody at the top of the leaderboards, but, you know, that's what I do. No, not really. Well, I mean, that's not what I do, but that is where I got it, I think. But anyway, I actually don't remember the origins of this deck, but here it is, in action against a level 12. But he's got some pretty mean cards. He's got the Miner, Sparky, and a Royal Giant. And this was one of the first times I had tried this deck, and as you can see, not off to a great start. The Mini Pekka on top of my tower. Here comes the Sparky. He's got minions to protect it. Fire Spirits as well. Princess, get in there, do some damage. And the freeze spell, Clutch Freeze, let me tell you, that's the thing about this deck. Now, it's been a while since I've used the freeze spell, but it all comes down to the timing of that freeze. Clutch freeze spells make the difference between a W and an L, and you'll see that in a few seconds once again. We try to get the Hog in there. It doesn't quite work. It's about even on hit points now. Mini Pekka and the Miner. We're going to squeeze the guards in. Great defensive card, but as you can see, he zaps me, and I'm going to suffer a lot of damage on that tower. Down to, miraculously, only 1,400. I thought it was going to be much worse, but the one little guard survives, helps to finish off the Mini Pekka, and that right there was clutch. That clutch guard saved me from a big shot from that Mini Pekka. As we go down, 90 seconds left, and you can see he's got Sparky queued up again, and I haven't yet seen his Royal Giant, so I don't know that's in his deck. But then again, we know he's got some sort of big tank card. Almost always it's going to be a regular giant. This guy with the more expensive Royal Giant getting ready to drop it. We knew it was coming. There it is right in front of Sparky, but the freeze spell, once again, clutch, gives me time to work the Royal Giant down thanks to the splash damage from the Princess, and now we can work on the Sparky, and beautiful, the Mini Pekka, the Princess, finish it off, and we've gotten that wiped out. A little bit of damage from the Princess, not a great deal. Good counter. Everybody countering Princesses these days with the Miner. And this zap spell right there, I was not expecting that, so the Miner gets into the tower before I get the minions in there and clear that out. Now I'm trying to push with a Hog Rider once again. Got the freeze spell at the ready. Clutch Freeze, check out the Hog Rider's health. Beautiful right there. It all comes down to the freeze's timing. The tower goes down a split second later, and I lose the Hog, and it's a wasted freeze spell instead. A beautiful spend on 4 elixir, and it gives me the 1-0 lead going into the final 30 seconds of this battle. And again, just having to get ready with the freeze spell. Now on defense, hoping that I can hold him off for a few more seconds as the Royal Giant is in there on top of my tower. 10 seconds left. Doesn't quite get it down. Final 5 seconds, ready with the freeze spell for whatever comes at me. Here comes the Miner. We're going to freeze the Miner beautifully right there. Time runs out, and again, the clutch freeze. Good game. It was 13-12, but I thought I would share it anyway just because it ended up being so close. Now, the next couple of replays are from tournaments, so we've got level 9 versus level 9 action, but this one, well, you'll see in just a second as the battle gets underway. My opponent right away with the tears. Jose the Great. Come on, you're great, man. You shouldn't be throwing tears at me. You obviously have got this under control. So Royal Giant Furnace deck. He's ready with the Royal Giant, but I'm going to push hard early down the right lane with the guards and the Hog Rider, and the freeze spell at the ready. Hog goes straight for the tower. Here comes the freeze spell. Beautiful. Stops the bomber, stops the tower. Princess working with the splash damage, and we get a lot of damage on this tower. You can see a lot of his smaller units are going to go down to that Princess. Beautiful right there. She is clutch, and now she's turning. She's going to finish off the Furnace and then turn back and work on the right lane tower once again. Now here comes the Giant, and here's the surprise. Is that... Wait, that's level 3. That Giant is level 3. All right. So these things happen every now and then. Players with under-leveled cards, and the Giant basically just folds like a piece of paper. On the right-hand side, twin Princesses blast that tower down, and you can see we are going to go ahead and fast forward through the rest of this battle. This player never really stood a chance, and the lesson learned right here, I guess, is not so much that this deck is amazing, but you cannot bring severely under-leveled cards to a battle, especially key cards. That Royal Giant, pretty much the key card in this deck. It's not going to work out for Jose the Great. He's called good game. We know that it's all over but the counting of the trophies at the end of this battle. He's going to throw another Royal Giant down, but seriously, it's just going to be completely melted by my units. We're going to go ahead and move in, push for the 3 crown, and finish this thing off. But I don't know. I would love to say, yeah, I'm so skilled, I'm so great. It was a couple level 9s, but you saw it. Level 3 Giant, no excuse. No way it's going to do any sort of significant damage, and he goes down 3 crowns to 0. Now, we will move on to another tournament win. This would be with the same deck in the same tournament against Chuito Football 1234 from America. And we gonna go ahead and show him how America does it when we get all Hog Rider up and freeze spell up in your tower like that. We gonna go in there and go and take them things down. And no, I am American too, so I'm not making fun of. Anyway, I just like doing that accent. I think it's fun. Anyway, so we're moving on in against Chuyito right here. He's got the bomb tower, a little bit unusual. Try to get the minions in there. We get one in there temporarily. One more, the goblins trying to get there. Another card you don't see a lot of, the bomb tower, especially in tournaments. You can see he's got some unusual cards here. He also has the witch. I would love to see more of the witch, but you just don't see that much of her right now. All right, Hog Rider left-hand side. I figured I would try to surprise him and go down the left, and again with the freeze spell, grabbing the Mini Pekka, but he's got a freeze of his own. So freeze to counter the freeze works out really well, and I do not get a lot of damage at all on that left lane tower. Right lane Mini Pekka can't get there. Left lane his Mini Pekka can't get there either. And now my princess, I'm going to try to protect her with the guards, but those dirty barbarians, they get in there and take my poor princess down, manhandle her, and finish her off. There the minions are going to take out the barbs. Sometimes I do try to squeeze units in front of a princess just to preserve her life as she tries to chop a tower down. That chip damage can really add up. In that case, it didn't work out. The barbs got in there before the princess could get protected. So down to the last 90 seconds. As you can see, a lot of people were watching this battle. Looks like some people cheering for both sides. That's good. We don't want an unfair advantage for home field advantage or anything like that. Check out the fail freeze right here. Not a good value to drop the freeze on the Valkyrie and the tower. As you can see, the Hog Rider never makes any progress towards the tower whatsoever. And now the bomb tower is still working on my side of the river. Luckily, we are eventually going to get this Valkyrie out of the way with the use of the minions. I didn't fall too far behind here in Elixir. That could have been critical. That freeze spell, definitely a mistake. Cost me what could have been a big advantage had I used that Elixir somewhere else. But luckily my opponent didn't have the opportunity to push hard. He had spent 5 Elixir on that bomb tower, which is a very expensive defense. I personally definitely will prefer the cannon in almost every situation right there. Again, I'm trying to push, and right here, just the Galapanic sets in. I just start spraying and praying. There's units dropping all over the screen, just hoping I can stop. Finally, I do manage to stop the Mini Pekka. We move forward. Here comes the Hog Rider once again. Come on, freeze spell. No, the bomb tower. One more time, but this time the Hog's going to get through. The freeze spell is ready, and the clutch freeze would do it. No, I zapped instead. All right, so might have been a good freeze, but then again, the barbarians probably would have gotten in. We are going into overtime, working on those barbs. We've got to try to cycle around. I figure one more solid push Hog freeze. We should be able to get this tower down at under 1,200 hit points. Got to get the witch out of the way first. Big confrontation on the river again. All sorts of units moving forward. Here's my chance. Everybody going in. Here comes the Hog Rider. Freeze is already ready. Hog gets their clutch freeze. Check it out. Hog Rider with almost no health left. But again, the opponent had the counter freeze. Didn't quite work for him as well that time because the Hog Rider still got a couple of shots in. He squeezes in the bomb tower, and now the princess gets me even closer. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. One more Hog Rider. He has no bomb tower to stop. He knows it's going to happen. The freeze spell, the Hog Rider, and I just barely squeak out the 1-0 win. So a fun deck, but again, it really comes down to the timing of that freeze spell with the Hog or with the Mini Pekka. That is the key card, and it's always that key card in any deck that is going to make the difference between a win and a loss, how you use it, and if you level it up correctly. All right, as always, thank you guys so much for sticking around all the way to the end of this episode. Please do hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up if you like the video. Let me know what other video subjects you would like to see covered in future episodes. Thank you again for your time. Have a fantastic day, and I hope to see every last one of you back here again tomorrow for more Full Attacks.
Galadon. I'm gonna give the subject to cover. May. Come on, man.